Oh, you're playing songs. Sam, you're playing it. Copyright. Oh no, I'm playing it. I thought it was you. Anyway. What up, prank invaders? It is me.
You got it fucking wrong. It's One Up Invaders.
What up, invaders?
There you go.
What up, space invaders? It is me, Antoyomi.
That's actually like almost a decent Stephen Hawking impression.
I was going for Antoyomi.
Yeah, but he's got a different
triggered.
one. He's like monotone, whereas
true.
like Stephen Hawking goes all over the place.
It does.
And Antoyomi is very monotone man.
He's
a
the
serious
monotone man.
He's a serious vomiting robot.
So this episode is just me and Sam. We're the only ones who introduced ourselves.
Yeah. So
it's
Mike,
the way it should be.
So Mike, what have you been listening to?
So this week, just been listening to some sounds.
Oh,
Let's not talk about that.
Sounds, vibrations,
vibrations in my ear.
in the ear.
Arriving into my ear via vibrations in the air.
Did the sequence of vibrations that you encountered?
Yeah.
Did you find that pleasurable?
Yes, I'd have to say so.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Alright, well, that's the
So,
end. Cheers for listening.
Good vibrations. Sam,
Wait, talk about prank invasion. These motherfuckers just got a prank. We're not actually ending the episode. And Julian's also here.
I am actually here.
Whoa!
Okay, that's enough.
Whoa, that's a
Julian.
reveal. That's too much, though. I think that's too much, Julian. I can't handle.
Rip.
Rip this podcast already.
Take the microphone up and just chuck it out the window.
I would actually love to hear the sound of the microphone smashing through the window, flying through the air, and landing on the street below.
I just like.
Would you be prepared to pay for the new window?
It'd be worth it for the meme.
Yeah, I think I would. I wouldn't pay for your microphone because that's your property.
The microphone's going to survive.
The window.
This thing is one tough motherfucker.
Well, how have you tested it? How do you know?
Because I've drunk it before.
Endless.
We broke it last episode.
Endless torrents of semen just hitting it over and over.
Jesus Christ.
Battering it. And this
blood.
stand stays strong. Who knows what it's stuck up with, but it's definitely stuck up with something.
I ain't certainly touching this episode.
No.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's derailed already. Can you tell that we've had an exam today? We've been broken.
It started with us screaming, "What's up, invaders?" and we didn't even get that right.
No.
So it was never on tracks in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
and yet it's still derailed from there. So,
yeah, it's gone from like off the tracks and rolled down into a ditch.
Yeah.
And blown up.
It's like a train crash that derailed with like several hundred passengers on board, but not only that, it like rolled into a town and like exploded quite a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the podcast. So yeah.
The poor children.
Quick shout out
Their
to
screams.
Zach Marshman. Oh. He
commented on one of our videos.
Discovered our podcast. That was a couple episodes ago, wasn't it?
This man.
Yeah.
He said, "What do I get for shouting out? Do I get replies?"
No, you don't. Fuck off, mate.
We're doing a shout out to him.
No, we're not.
You're doing a shout out to him.
Fuck off.
I do a shout out to him. Sam's against that. He's very much not in favour of shouting
Don't
out
comment.
Zach Marshman. So I think Sam will get you if anyone comments on any video from now on.
No comments allowed.
No comments, no likes.
They taint the
no
legacy
views.
that is painted by this amazing podcast.
Yep,
It's
true.
perfect until you fuckers come and comment.
I'd say our listeners
disgusting
are the worst part of the podcast. I think they ruin it. Like, we have a gold standard of content, and then people listen to it, and that's the part that ruins it.
Yeah.
The fact that other people
As soon as the vibrations enter their ear, their ear ruins
like
the
middleman,
vibrations.
like they're imperfect.
Yeah.
Which we are.
This imperfect world can't handle how perfect we are.
Yeah.
It's how
and
it
thus
is.
How perfect our
content
is.
Yeah, our content is. So that's a good discussion. Speaking of perfect, also not bragging, right?
Okay.
But you are listening to two-thirds of the voices you're listening to live under the same household roof
that's
as
true.
the 23rd best Nomcat player in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Dude, not bragging, claim to fame.
Yeah.
This kid here, Sammy boy.
We've referenced Nomcat, or I've referenced Nomcat
plenty
on
of
previous
times.
episodes.
Yeah, many a time.
We enjoy the game in our house, and
The competition is
the
rife.
The competition is hardcore. And yesterday,
Intense.
Ollie somehow managed to get 785 in
Mr. Oliver
in
Porter.
non-cap,
Yep. And
which
checked,
makes him 23rd best in the world.
Yeah, we checked on the official app, and that makes him
That is
23rd best in the world.
The single most autistic thing
Yeah.
I've ever experienced.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I mean, it
Other
shows.
than when I look in the mirror, but you know.
I mean, you're in the top 50
Yeah.
of non-cat worldwide.
Yeah,
not to,
He's
not
not
to draw
quite
the
striving. He's
comparison,
I'm
not
not quite
striving
there.
for those levels
Anyway.
of.
but
Should probably talk
degeneracy.
about music.
Mr. Oliver Porter's taking
We should probably
above
talk
and
about
beyond.
Mike,
music.
can we talk
though.
about music?
Singers, our listeners, are probably like, oh, I really want to hear about. Oh, you know, I came here for music. But, you know,
I came here for
why
perfect
not-
musical
why
opinions, which
can't-
are well formulated.
Why can't they talk about shitty messenger games, which they play among friends who we've never met before? Now that's content.
I just thought people should know that we live in one of the best communities for non-cat
so
in the world.
If my previous comment about
That's
not
all.
commenting, if there's any of the other top 23 non-cat players
Yeah,
out
I'm
there,
expecting
But it
22
was a-
comments
yeah.
from the people
Yeah.
who are better than I.
and if you know them, could you please dox them?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
That would help our cause.
Alright, there we go. Cool.
So, Julian, what have you been listening to before I dox you? What have you been listening to?
I haven't really been listening. I'm not that good at non-cats. You know, I've never set my.
For every 10 seconds you talk about the music you listen to this week, we reveal another information of your personal.
We reveal another digit from your credit card details and such.
We reveal another letter on his address. I don't actually know your address.
No, you don't. Colin Stetson's got a band called XI. They're a jazz metal band releasing a new album at the end of the month. That's it.
Cool.
Damn.
Have you listened to it, yay or nay?
I've listened to one song that's been
Speedy,
teased from it.
Fair. I was going to say that's
It's
neither a
pretty
yay
crazy.
or a nay, but you can't exactly express I've listened to one song and it's pretty crazy in a yay or a nay sort
It's pretty crazy.
of sound.
Yeah.
But yeah. Again, Sam, what have you been listening to?
Well, we listened to a bit of Bobby Schmurder. Listened to the EP Schmurder She Wrote.
Yeah.
What an EP.
Fucking wonderful. It's actually pretty good. It's got some bangers on there.
Fair dues.
But I mostly just listened to it because of the Bobby Schmurder meme.
He's a great meme.
He is. And also listened to some more Mountain Goats in
Yeah.
preparation for the new album coming out.
Exciting.
End of the week.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Gonna get out of analysis and bang that
One
on
of our
and just be
exams.
happy.
Yep. It's going to be a good reward for a horrible exam.
3 days worth of work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Alright.
But yeah, I've just listened to like a little bit of
Soundwaves.
Animal Collective. Soundwaves from Animal Collective.
Sounds
have been in
like
my ear.
classic Mike, this.
Yeah. Well, it's like coming on to feeling summery-ish, because, I mean, at the moment the weather's pretty shit.
No, today the weather's pretty bad. Yeah.
But it has been feeling a bit more summery, especially as we're like approaching final exams and shit. So,
we're in it.
exactly, we're amongst it.
We've
We're
been approaching it for a
drowning
while.
in the shit wave that is final exams in our second year. But yeah, so just been feeling the summery vibes and listen to that. Other than that, not had time for much.
No.
Again, drowning in the shit wave. What can I say?
Turns out
Other than I listen to Ocean
there's
Man.
a band called Soundwave.
Oh,
So, ooh. I just like searched that out because we
Soundwave is one of-
Sneaky little-
Soundwave.
Soundwave without the D is one of Top Dog Entertainment's producers as well.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he had some production credits on Damn.
damn.
okay, it's fucking horrible. Soundwave. I listened to
So-
like 3 seconds. Skip to the middle of a track. It's just bad. Don't listen to Soundwave.
We need to develop a new way to take auditory input into our ear holes rather than sound waves because they're trash. Anyway,
Rather than Soundwaves.
rather than sound waves, yeah.
We're talking a bit like robots, boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shall we talk about
Head
Murder of the
to-
Universe? Damn.
So I think Sam, you should
Yes,
take this one
okay.
away.
I don't think you
For
sound
sure.
excited enough, Sam.
Hey, this is as excited as I can be
On
after
such a day
fucking weeks of revision.
for horrible algebra today.
So, just some listeners, imagine me saying this very excited, but King, because I am. King Gizzard
When it came out,
is like my
yeah,
like one of my favorite bands at the moment, if not my favorite band. They're just like so much fun
yeah.
and just like and they don't give a damn.
They're just so
Just,
Australian.
They
You
are
can't
very,
not love
very
them.
Australian, and You know, their plan of releasing 5 albums this year is going strong. We've already had
With
Flying Microtonal Banana, and now Mode of the Universe after it leaked, which is I'm a bit sad that it leaked just because, like, I don't know, it feels wrong for me to be listening to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
this is what I said when you said the leak's out. You guys all need to fucking listen to it.
It's not my fault the leak's out, but like I heard it was out, and me and Sam were both like, "Oh, we can't wait, can we?"
Yeah.
We were like, "We want to wait."
People need to hear the gospel.
Yeah.
Of the GIZZVERSE list.
It's our responsibility to tell people about the GIZZVERSE Liz Eddie is. So they need to hear it. They need to hear the truth.
And they can hear it now.
So
they can.
There are places.
Damn, is it good?
Yeah, it's really good.
So basically, the main premise of it is it's sort of a narrated story kind of album.
It's fairly epic and sprawling.
Yes, it's sort of. I'd say it carries on the story from I'm in Your Mind Fuzz and On the Gone Infinity. Yeah. But it doesn't. There's not really a story. It's just their riffs are shared between everything.
Yeah.
If you're a big King Gizzard fan and frequent the subreddit, you know about the GIZZVERSE.
Yeah.
Which is basically just these 2 albums have the same bits of cover art in them.
They've got the same mountain.
Oh, there's a mountain in 2 of the album covers. GIZZVERSE confirmed.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think this album is the most GIZZVERSE-y.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of riffs from previous.
Yeah.
And
they're worked in so well.
They are.
They're good moments when they come in.
The one from Non Gone Infinity that's right at the start of the second disc, especially.
Some context, which I like.
I love that. That track name is so good.
Yeah, but
and it's like 18 seconds long.
Yeah. A snippet from one of our other albums.
Yeah.
So it's
good.
Yeah. So this album is a triple.
Yeah.
A triple disc.
Pretty much.
It's broken up into 3 parts. You've got Altered Beast.
Yep.
The Lightning Rod and the Balrog, and of course.
Handoyomi.
Yeah, which was released previously.
Yes.
And
that's what got you excited for this originally.
Oh god, it's good. And then,
so good.
But like, Handoyomi, I understand why they released it first because the other 2 parts are like very similar.
Yeah.
And Handoyomi is sort of off in its own little world.
Yeah, somewhat.
You know, it carries on the story.
It's hard to explain. Parts, because the 3 parts are sort of linked. You can feel it. Like I don't know how, but it's sort of they are linked.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to piece together anything. That's
pretty much how I feel. I feel like they're linked musically more than anything.
Yes.
Which is by association because they're on the same album.
I mean, part 2 and part 3 link quite seamlessly just because you have like because in the first bit you have or in part 2 you've got the people. All sort of being scared of the Lord of Lightning, and then he summons the Balrog.
Yeah,
They're scared of the Balrog, and then the Lord of Lightning comes back and fights the Balrog.
Yeah.
And kills the Balrog, and then
spoilers.
And then
anyone who's seen Lord of the Rings, spoilers.
And then distraught, and then it says at the end like it all fades to black, and then you go into Handoyomi, where he's talking about like a world which is just darkness.
Yeah, he's a cyborg born into a world of darkness, and he happens to be very paranoid about such things, which is just classic.
But
it's so much fun.
You know, the story is one thing.
Yeah.
The instrumentals are so much fun.
Yes.
Fun. It's like starts so well.
It does.
Just you get the like driving guitars as the
I love
lady
the start. It really hypes me up.
Like, oh man.
No, the narration as well needs to be talked about a lot.
Top notch.
Yeah, it is.
It's very sort of Gladriel-esque.
Yeah, it is. It reminds me a lot of Lord of the Rings.
Like not just because
with the driving riffs and stuff in the background, you really feel like a huge epic scale to like everything. Like especially from the start, you can like feel it ramping up. You're like, oh shit.
Because it speeds up towards the end of the first narration track with the guitars.
And, it's sort of,
and then just like throws you into it. Classic Giz style of just like throwing you fast paced into something beautiful.
Like listening to this album reminds me of like when I first listened to Non Gone Infinity, and it's just like so fast, like straight out of that, just like doesn't give you any time to get used to it.
It's like boom, boom,
where it's just like and you're already like air guitaring and dancing about. It's great.
Before you know it's like back with more story, and you're like, oh shit, I'm building it in my head, boys.
And
then like straight back into heavy riffs and stuff. Yeah, it's so good. And the drumming is like so driving and stuff across the whole album, and like
physically impossible not to air guitar at some point during the listen of this.
True. Yeah.
Can confirm.
I look like such a mug listening to this album, especially when you get like
that's a good endorsement.
Where, like
yeah,
because there's the odd like heavy bit where like something epic will be said, and then just guitars on guitars, guitars just go, and it's just.
It's the power of a 7-piece band.
It's glorious.
They do such good justice instrumentally to the scale of the whole story.
Yeah, it does. Like it feels like actually on a universal scale.
Yeah.
For like something called Murder of the Universe, you like actually feel like it's on that scale.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's like subtle hints, well maybe subtle hints, it's hard to say, but you like the GIZZVERSE hints makes you feel like this universe is being built somewhat.
Yeah. And
which they've got throughout their albums, maybe. But
yeah, but
that's an aside.
Yeah.
But like just the sound of the album.
The GIZZVERSE is just like a cherry on top of just
it is.
Just that extra bit
it's
of
like
polish.
A cheeky little bit like, oh, I'm going to add this nice running story for it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's so good.
It's Favorite third.
Oh, it's really hard for me. I probably still prefer the last third, Hand to Yomi. I like the style of it. It's like different from the first two. That's the thing, and I just love Han Toyomi's voice.
Yeah,
because it's the like text to speech basically.
Yeah, and it's out of all the three, it's definitely the most like sprawling and epic, and like
it's got the best finish to it.
Yeah, at the end when everything like crescendos, and it's like this story of him just engulfing the entire universe in vomit. It's like it's the most like it's the most King Gizzard thing ever of just like some robot having the desire to vomit and then making a machine that vomits
out of soy protein
and then destroying the entire universe by by becoming vomit and then like becoming
expanding.
Everything and then, like it's like so insane. Funny but also like so amazing at the same time.
Pulled off well.
You're not sure whether to be like awestruck or like laughing. It's wonderful.
It's so good, and like there's little moments in it that are just brilliant. Like I like the way that Han Toyomi says cyborg. It's just so like it's great. It's brilliant, and like the whole style of it, it's got sort of 80s-ish sheen to it in a weird way, which I really like, especially with the like video package they released when they put it out as the sort of promotion material.
Top of the Pops-esque.
Yeah, it's so good. I just love it.
Yeah,
that's probably why I like it stylistically. The most. But let's talk about the first two sections as well. Yeah, because
I think the third one is also my favourite because Han Toyomi is just wonderful.
You gotta love Han Toyomi, basically.
It's hard to choose between the other two. That's the thing. I think I like the second one more.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And then the first, because the first one is like, it's weird. Like when you look at it from like, just step back and like look at the entire like first section.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be very repetitive because it's just
Altered Beast 1, Alter Me 1,
Altered Beast 2, Alter Me 2, Altered Beast 3,
3, 4.
All the way up to 4, and then Life and Death, which is it's sort of. So I'm always hesitant when going into listening it because I'm like, is this going to be like?
Yeah.
It's going to be repetitive. And
I thought that too.
I get worried about like getting bored of it because I love it so much, but I'm just like I'm scared that the like sheen is going to wear off and I'm actually going to realise that it's repetitive. But every time I listen to it I'm like no,
when you actually listen to it fun it's not that at all,
because even though the sort of main theme of this person seeing like this weird bear man hybrid and then being changed into that monster and then killing a bunch of people and then dying. It's like there's a lot of themes in it. They're
like quite dark about wanting to be evil and the like.
I think a lot of
those are the themes that sort of carry over. A lot
of the narration sounds like it's almost being used as like an allegory for kind of like how humans are kind of like the dominant species on Earth, and they're really kind of every other species is their bitch, basically. Because there's one bit in the narration where, she says where it's something like where everything is like the human. They're talking about one species going after another as their prey.
Yeah.
And there's also a bit where she's talking about how you are like the most malicious.
Yes, that's part of the transformation. Like the way I see it.
Yeah. I know it's worked as part of the transformation.
Yeah, because I see the woman as like the woman's voice is the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's like a sort of Schmaug sort of thing.
Yeah.
In a sort of way. It's the way I can sort of see it.
Yeah. It's kind of like hard to follow because like for half of it, Stu's voice is the voice of the person being altered, but then at other points it's like he's sort of narrating what the woman is, which is the bear man beast thing. Is like talking about.
But it's fun. The reason this section isn't repetitive, I mean, it is repetitive in, like, some of its lyrics themes. Are recurring, and, like, some of the riffs and stuff are recurring, and the themes are recurring, but, like, the way that it builds the story keeps you so interested.
Yeah, it doesn't detract from it.
And, like, it progresses perfectly, like, from, like, oh, there's an altered beast by the tree, like, or whatever, I'm going to be scared of it, to, like, becoming that,
I am that beast.
Like a mild interest in it, and then just like a transformation into something disgusting and like malicious.
Whenever anything
it's like
starts to get like a tad repetitive, it's just like another riff is like.
That's the thing. It's the classic King Gizzard. As soon as something gets repetitive, just it cuts off like straight into another riff, taking off in a direction you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah,
and it like keeps itself with such momentum going through it.
For sure.
And, like, the narration keeps you thinking, or keeps you feeling that something epic's on the way, which it is. Because part 2 is, like, more of an epic story.
Yeah, it's very Lord of the Ringsy. Like, this Lord of Lightning who, like, well, we've already said it, creates Balrog, and then fights Balrog, and kills Balrog, and then pisses off, and flicks the sun off.
Turns the sun off by throwing the flipping Balrog into it.
But, like... The lyrics are just so good.
I love the way they're written.
Especially for Lord of Lightning, like all the different like metaphors that are used for lightning.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
I love the way
it's just like paints such an amazing picture in your head.
Yeah, it does.
Which is why the amount of like cool artwork that people uploaded to the King Gizzard subreddit, like I was like, listen to Murder of the Universe for the first time and drew this, and it's like they're all like really cool like abstract drawings of like the Lord of Lightning, and like you know, you have the like nonagons in there and
all the like sneaky GIZZVERSE things working their way in as they do to the sound of this album. Yeah,
and also like on the topic of GIZZVERSE, like the first bit, the first section with the altered beast, like she talks about. Like, I don't want to kill you, I want to be inside your head. Like, that links back to, like, the themes of, like, the start of I'm in your mind fuzz, which is, like, it's, like, the first tracks are, like, I'm in your mind, I'm not in your mind. And then there's Cellophane, which is amazing track, but aside. And then I'm in your mind fuzz. So it's kind of, like, fucking about inside someone's head. And
cool.
Like, so, you know.
That's good stuff.
You get so
there's the thing, it's, like, not an exact story. But the themes carry over, and the feel of like where albums fit in can carry over as well.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking epic.
Yeah, it is.
I think the Lord of Lightning's probably my favourite track across all three discs. I was going to say,
Lord of Lightning is amazing.
Yeah.
There's one part in it I particularly super love, and that's when... I think it's when Stu's just like screaming lightning. Yeah, there's the lightning bit, so it's crazy. But then he does that throughout. Lightning,
and then Nana gone.
But yeah,
infinity.
Yeah, the way when he does that, and then like the whole of the instrumentation just like ramps up in speed, like out of nowhere. It's such a change in shift. That,
any live performance of this song. When it gets to that, Stu goes fucking mental on his guitar.
Yeah. It's so good.
People were like kind of disappointed that on the actual like version, he doesn't go as mental as
I know, that's true.
Like he doesn't scream. He's he keeps to the like nonagon. He keeps the nonagon infinity sort of like ooh.
But like the instrumentation still carries over. It's so like it's like literally like a shock of lightning as. You know,
the riff, the like intro riff to Lord of Lightning when she's like, the woman is narrating like or getting you sort of put in the world of. That's introducing the Lord of Lightning like section.
There's a song before it, isn't it? I think.
And there's just that like quick guitar like. doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
Fuck.
I love it.
Amazing album. I was like, Flying Microtonal Banana was good, but like compared to after Nonagon Infinity, it was like, it's not as good as Nonagon Infinity. It's a step below Nonagon Infinity.
It's like a different like energy.
Yeah. And I was sort of. Yeah, it's still fantastic, but it's completely
not driving,
not the same tone,
not what I was expecting, shall we say? And then
they've got 4 more to make up for.
Yeah,
and they've already done it.
And then Hantayumi came out, and I was like,
so stylish.
If the other 2 parts are as good as this could be one that's like better than Nonagon Infinity.
Yeah. In terms of scale,
better than Mind Fuzz, just like on another level, and I think it is. It's just like. Works all of these different elements from like all of the different albums they've done so far and all of this experience into just this fucking godly 40 minutes.
That's exactly why everyone keeps coming back to the GIZZVERSE thing, and it's more like less that there's a story being built necessarily, and more exactly that. It's like all of these things. This just feels like such a central album for King Giz.
It's like feels like Avengers. Like,
kind of
where like all these films are like all these films or all these albums were like the first like setup films before Avengers, and this is puts it all together because you get like you've got riffs in there from Paper Mache, you've got riffs in there from Nonagon, you've got riffs in there from Mind Fuzz.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Damn.
There's some subtle references, I think, that could be to, what's it called? Microtonal Banana, Microtonal Banana.
Yeah,
the microtones of the universe.
Yeah. And there's like lots of other stuff, but they're only little.
Yeah.
But like the fact that this album just feels, and it's so epic, and like feels like it pulls everything together.
Yeah.
Just makes you just like, if you love King Giz, then this album is gonna like, just keep you like so excited for so long, pretty much.
I mean, Mike can attest to this. After I listened to it for the first time, I was just so happy. I was on another level. I was just like, came into your room and I was like, oh my god,
it's like
so
a whole
good. And I was like, listened to it like 4 more times that day.
It's like one of these things where it's like, boy, they did it.
Yeah,
like holy fuck.
Oh man,
it's so good.
Yes.
And then even if you've not listened to a King Giz album before,
this is a good entry point.
This is a good entry point.
Yeah.
I mean, probably
like this.
Nonagon might be better as an entry point.
Yeah, because this
one's
like
shorter. This is sprawling.
Yeah. Plus, this is a bit more like abstracted and
it is, and it's got the
proggy.
No, definitely. Actually, no.
With the narration as well, it helps. It's a bit more.
The stuff in on the second disc about the Lord of Lightning versus the Balrog. A lot of the lyrics and the kind of big battle between 2 creatures kind of reminds me of Journey to the Centre of the Earth, which had a prog rock adaptation done by Rick Wakeman of Yes as a solo venture, which he then performed with like a big orchestra. And basically, there's a stage in it where these 2 big mythical beasts have a battle in it, and that's what I was instantly reminded of by this. It's definitely proggy.
Yeah, very very proggy. So I'd say you probably want to start with like Mind Fuzz and Nonagon because they're more like
easy to
sort of
But this is the third in the trilogy of
like more
albums
bog standard. I wouldn't say bog standard in a bad way. More manageable rock songs with a start, a chorus, and an end rather than linking to get
rather than a huge.
Well, actually, Nonagon doesn't have an end, but you know what I mean.
That's the point.
There are separated songs, and they all have their own little moments. Whereas this is, I feel like this is more like 3 15-minute songs in an album.
Yeah, it's true, but it's so good. I'm
so excited for what they've got coming.
I'm wondering what the hell they're going to do for their next one. Honestly,
there's so much in this album that ties stuff together that like God knows what they're even going to do.
I think Stu did talk about like the different types of album.
I heard that
they had planned like they said they had one which like microtones was a thing they wanted to do. Narration,
which we've got, and then this is the narration.
There was a third one that they were talking about, and I can't remember what it is, but I think it was something to do with like it was like very synthy
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Electronic-y.
I heard something like that.
I'm unsure though.
The theory on the King Giz subreddit was that it's going to be like the next album they release will be a bit more of a like not super tied into the whole
So just another standalone one.
Yeah, more of a standalone one, and then the one after that might tie in again, back in.
That would make sense, because they seem to take, like, because right now the holy Giz trinity of Martin Fuzz and Onagon and Murder is, like, separated by
Paper Mache
and microtonal.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what I was saying. This is like this is why this is probably the last one you want to listen to in the trilogy of ones that have mountains on the album.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, isn't it? Because this is again, it's got the sort of pointy triangle mountains.
It's got the spiky mountain trilogy.
Yeah, Spiky Mountain trilogy, and this is the third one.
Almost
but like
as good as the Cornetto trilogy.
This album pays off like big time.
Yeah.
Basically.
Spiky Mountain trilogy definitely has a better third installment than Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah, it does. I can't even remember that film, and I've seen it like twice or 3 times. It's atrocious. I saw it at the cinema.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. It's just not that memorable.
You know, it's not Hot Fuzz or
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. Bar was set high, but same with King Giz, except they keep meeting it and going past it, and they're doing it at a rate that's like you can't even comprehend.
Yeah, it's just crazy. They're like, I will be actually like blown away if they manage to put out 3 more albums this year.
Yeah.
Like that would be because they're going on tour.
Yeah.
They are.
And then like
because we're gonna see
June to July, June to July. June to July.
Yeah.
And then they've got a like so Murder is ready to come out.
Yeah.
And like they're going to release it. Rip the leak, and then and then they've got until like. Unless they've already got stuff.
No, I'm sure they've already got stuff done.
They must have stuff done. Or stuff in the pipeline, like ideas in the pipeline.
Yeah.
But they've still got to record 3 studio albums.
I wouldn't be surprised if they already have stuff for their 4th conceptualized already.
Yeah.
But it's like
the process
takes a while.
Yeah.
Unless they're all like virtuous with their instruments and can do everything in one take. But
they probably God knows maybe they can.
I've seen a bit of behind the scenes of their recording process.
You'd imagine that like most of them would just piss around.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they'd get much done, but somehow they do.
Giz HQ chaos.
HQ looks like the most wonderful place to be. I just want to live there. It looks fantastic.
I want to make a pilgrimage.
It just looks like one of their houses. It's like literally just one of their houses, and they've like put a bed sheet on them.
Yeah.
They just sit in a little circle.
It's the most Australian thing. I love it.
I love the Aussies.
So do I.
They know how to
They're the best nation.
And they know how to make music.
Yeah, they do.
They do both of those.
And drug-addled cartoons as well.
Yeah, that too.
You try.
Where's Big Les season 4? Yeah, season 4, episode
2.
50. I need episode 2 of season Big Les.
Yeah. We'll have to put up with King Giz releasing stuff at a ridiculous rate.
Can we get King Giz to appear in an episode of Big Les?
I don't know.
That'd be pretty good.
I don't know.
Quite good.
But then, like, it could come to the fact that King Gizzard might release more. If King Gizzard released more albums than Big Les
releases episodes
this year,
yeah, it looks like it would go that way.
I mean, they're on better form at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
They're 1 to 2. Hurry up, Big Les.
Hurry up, Big Les.
Right. You can't talk. You haven't fucking watched Big Les.
Yeah, I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
When did you watch Big Les?
Just because people have been talking about it. I've not seen all of them.
When did you watch it?
I don't know, just like after you got back from the ski trip and you were like talking about it. So I've been watching it bit by bit.
I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Bit by
bit. Traco.
Oh, fuck.
Don't you doubt me.
Quinny.
I'm not a cunt. Just saying.
Fucking touch Glenwood.
Right. Well, I think we should go on to the next section.
Should we move on to part 2?
Have you said that Murder Universe is your album of the year so far yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now I have. It is. It's something's gonna have to do pretty well to top it. I'm hoping the other King Gizzard albums do well.
I mean, we'll see. You know,
could be.
I think this year's already going to go down as the year of the Giz.
Yeah.
If they can top Murder of the the Universe, then
That'd be great if my like album of the year list was like
top 5,
top 3 were like King Gizzard albums.
Yeah. It's just King Gizzard for you.
Yeah, can't be a top 5 because one of those 5 is Microtonal Banana, and that is beaten by.
Oh. This section of the podcast.
Look at that segue, boys.
We're doing, so it's beaten by Pure Comedy by Father John Misty. Ooh. So, boy. Have you listened to this? I assume you have. Obviously.
Yeah, I've listened to this.
Good one. I saw because he liked Father John Misty on Facebook.
So again...
Yes, I did.
And Liam did a wow react to
He
it.
did.
He loves his wows.
He does. He likes to go, woo. So wow's what I did when I listened to Pure Comedy. So, like I said, I was...
Ejaculate was what I did, but...
Woo!
I was trying to...
Whoa! Was there that mention of Taylor Swift?
We're recording it.
No.
He's just betting Taylor Swift every night.
Betting the Oculus Rift.
After the missus. Finished dinner in the dishes.
It's a good line. But
it's a sarky line, but
Very...
Makes
the whole album.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I can understand that. I feel like it was thrown in a little bit at the last minute. Probably because he was...
like trying... It's a weird mix of like trying to be edgy.
Yeah.
But then like also he's like really funny and sarcastic.
So
just like
to sum up,
somehow works.
Pure Comedy is exactly that. It's like the most on point, sarcastic, like I don't even know how to express, sort of quasi folk ballad sort of type songs. But what he's done on this album, which is different from his previous ones, is he's brought in a full fucking orchestra in full force, and in spite of that, like despite having such a like amazing like rich sound with like his piano a lot of the time, and then like a lot of brass instruments and strings and everything to accentuate every little like sentence that he makes and like really pull the spite out of it. Despite all of that, he still has a lot of electronics that are also quite interesting as well, which is what I fell in love with on the album, sort of.
I caught some of the electronics on a couple of tracks. I didn't actually...
There's not a lot on most. What I'm talking about is So I'm Growing Old on Magic Mountain. Yeah. And it's not necessarily electronics, but it's the like fuzz of it.
Yeah.
This is like the reason why I actually fell in love with this album. I mean, this is obviously towards the end of the album, and we're skipping ahead and stuff, and we'll cover it a bit. Yeah. But this is the song that like blew me away, because it starts off like the first half of it is the sort of song, sort of standard ballad song that he's been doing for the whole thing. And then the last half just leaves you like utterly breathless.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like a wonderful mix of like beautiful instrumentation, but then you've also got these like weird sort of ambient, electronic-y
it's
things
like
going
fuzzy. I don't know, maybe crackles sort of things that go on, and like the way that the huge orchestra sound, that surrounds his voice, like funnels its way down into these like fuzzy electronic blips at the end. Like honestly, just leaves you like. On the edge.
It was definitely like a standout for a long time.
It was
just like,
and the reason is because this whole album has just got this such epic sound, like the whole, like I said, orchestration to accompany Father John Misty's vocals the whole way through, and then it just gets funneled down at the end. Again, this was one of the ones that I wasn't expecting to love, because I hadn't heard it until the album was released, because it wasn't a single. The singles I had heard were Pure Comedy, obviously, which is why I fell in love with the album. Because Pure Comedy, the first song, is fucking brilliant, and the timing of its release.
Sarcastic and brilliant.
Yeah, it's like taking a step back and looking at how disgusting humanity is. It's so good. Like Father John Misty's take on the human race is hilarious. Just like we're just like an ironic mess, like God's joked on Earth.
It's just so like angry and spiteful and sarcastic.
And the thing that I got across, I don't know if you saw the video that I posted, but it's Father John Misty's performance of on SNL, which is the most sarky place you could do it on, like Central American TV with so many people watching. He performs Pure Comedy, and it's like one of the best musical performance I've ever seen on a show like that, to be honest. Because the way he does it is, he has, again, the instrumentation and stuff that's just like lush in the background, and his vocals just become angrier and angrier and angrier, and he can't even contain himself. And he starts doing like a crazy dance in like the most eccentric way, but like every time he says anything, he accentuates it with like over the top hand gestures. He's like grabbing his head, and he's like, "Oh god!"
There's just like one bit where just the instrumentation, they have their like solo bit of like the bit where the brass like really comes in,
like explodes out.
And then, when that finishes, like, and he's supposed to start singing, he's just like there with his head in his hands.
He's literally like he gets so angry, and it's like the perfect thing for this time, because when he released this track, it was right after the inauguration of Donald Trump, and it's a feeling that a lot of people had subdued, but like he's kept like the anger and like disappointment in the human race like up, so that you can like remind yourself that that's what you should be feeling. It's like an important album. I mean, it is political, but it distances itself somewhat. The actual album itself by, you know, generalizing themes, not just calling out Donald Trump or anything. But, you know, a lot of the songs are about the bad mentalities that a lot of people have nowadays. Like things like...
It's just like mostly, just like each song is commenting on like different bits of humanity as a whole, and showing like... like everything's fucked, so we might as well laugh at it, pretty much.
That's the general message that comes around.
I think, along with like Growing Old on Magic Mountain and Pure Comedy, like When the God of Love Returns, that one, like
that's another one that's just,
I mean, so good.
Like, it is.
Jesus, you didn't leave a whole lot for me. If this isn't hell already, then tell me what the hell is. Love that line.
And there's so many lines like that. There's so many. I love them.
And also like, what is it? It's like, the human being is the Earth's most soulful predator.
Yes, that line is brilliant. I love that line. I genuinely love... I've listened to this album a lot. When it came out, I was fully addicted to it, and I was addicted for like several weeks, and I kept mentioning it on the podcast. I've been listening to other stuff now, because we've had to, and I also haven't listened to much because of revising and stuff. Revising. Sean Connery. I've been revising for
analysis.
Mrs. Analysis. Which money penny? Oh, you're playing songs. Sam, you're playing it. Copyright. Oh, no, I'm playing it. I thought it was you. Anyway. So we're not going to get copyright, because Sean Connery. But yeah, so as I was going to say, I love every single track on this album solidly for so like many different reasons. Like the way some of them build up, and like the way some of them start, and like just the addictiveness of some of the guitars or the pianos or just his vocals. They're really fun to like sing. They're really, really fun, because the way he accentuates everything and the way he makes his points with certain sentences is beautiful. But
it's so like showy and great. It
is.
It reminds me quite a lot of like I can imagine him on Broadway. Or somewhere like that.
But I mean, even in the album itself, he admits it's the vocal parts that he enjoys most. Like on the song "The Memo," which I accidentally just started playing.
That's another favourite.
I was gonna say this is what it's like on this album. Every song, like, there's only a couple that are weaker, and they're still like so fine.
Every song is just like it's like on the first couple. Obviously, like, very quickly you get the message of each song. Because, you know, he does a very good...
I mean, it's a broad message.
He does a great sort of
it's
job.
like, humanity's disgusting on planet Earth. And the next one is, like, we're all going to die watching VR porn in our houses and, like, not communicate to anyone ever again. And then the next one's, like, you know, we're, like... There's a revolution for no reason, people are upset for no reason. And then the next one's like, well, people are just going to die and like try and keep up with their news feed, and that's all their life is now. And it goes on and on and on like that, looking at telling people how disgusting they are. But the message becomes like, just be like thankful, basically. And the way that it becomes that is beautiful.
And like, but... Well, I can't
Sorry,
it's all good. It's sort of like you listen to it the first couple of times, and obviously you very quickly get the message of each song, because he does a very good job of painting, sort of like instantly getting this sort of idea across to you, and sort of
through
setting
like
the
parable almost. A lot of the time, and like stuff like that.
And but then like every so often you'll just pick up on like or because the song is so good, it becomes catchy. You just like, there are just times where you just be like humming a thing like subconsciously, and you'll be like, oh shit, I need to listen to pure comedy. And you go through, and you pick up on more and more like little. Like,
and this goes on and on and on and on,
and it just it's like I think like on my lovely trip to France in Easter, I sort of listened to it on the way there and went, this is really nice, I like this is pleasant, and then like 2 weeks later I just like can't listen to anything but that album. So good.
This is why I put this on like our list of things to do.
Yeah.
And then I changed my mind and stuff. And then I was like, no, I like wanted to do something else, but I just couldn't stop listening to this.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just have to do it. Like, I have no choice.
Yeah.
And that, like, every song has got moments that are just like that. You get bits stuck in your head from all over the album. Like, maybe there's a couple. The only ones that don't a little bit is Leaving LA.
Leaving LA.
Very long.
It's about really 10 minutes too long.
Yeah, it's a 13-minute track. It's still really good, but I like the lyrical content of it. It's really, like, it's the whole message, obviously, about LA and, like, showbiz and people fucking being atrocious and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny how he pokes fun at that. Yeah. But it is overlong and it doesn't... It's very just sort of minimal in its instrumentation, I suppose.
The problem is it doesn't go anywhere for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't justify being 30 minutes long because the instrumentation stays
I think the
pretty much the
instrumentation
same.
doesn't go anywhere as much as it should have done. Yeah. But the lyrics do, and they're really good.
I feel like, it feels just like it was a really, like, big story that you just wanted to, like, get out there about.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not many people really like LA that much.
No.
You just sort of go there because you need to be there.
Yeah, and everyone's like a horrible human being to each other, basically.
But,
yeah, and then, I don't know, maybe Smoochie's a little bit boring, but it's fine, it's kind of short. Well, it's 3 minutes.
I thought Smoochie was fine.
Yeah, like, that's fine. And then the others, I'm only saying these two, because these are the ones that aren't super, like...
amazing.
Like, blow your socks off amazing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the rest I love. I love the start of Ballad of the Dying Man, the way that builds in with, like, I don't know what it is, there's something about the strum and the guitar and, like, the way you just get sucked into it. It's so good.
I just love the, like, image he paints of, like, a dude dying, but just before he dies, he just, like, gets up his phone, checks Facebook,
checks his newsfeed,
what he's about to miss.
Yeah, and the way that song builds up is so good. Another one I really love, I just love it, A Bigger Paper Bag. The way that song ends is fantastic, because it, like, builds up to this, like, whole... I don't know, it's like a feeling of, like, just trying to do stuff without consequences. He keeps talking about, like, a kid, what is it? I know it's a king on cocaine or a kid with something, or I can't remember now. Yeah. But, like, he builds up those images again and again, and they, like, get more and more sort of metaphors like that. Yeah. And then the end is just, like, he goes through it one last time, and, like, the instrumentation on that is beautiful, and, like, the way he delivers certain lines... Can't remember the lines for the life of me, but...
Child with Cash or King on Cocaine.
That's it, yeah. And, like, the way that it builds up, and his vocal performance on it is so, like, perfectly repetitive throughout the song, the way it, like, builds. I just love it.
Yeah. I think, I'd say the main reason I, like, fell in love with this album, other than, like, the sound of it, is just, like, all the, like, punchy, sarcastic, like, one-liners almost. Yeah. They're sort of like... It reminds me of some of the Mountain Goat songs with just, like, scathing, sarcastic comments, like, every now and again, which just, like, stick in the back of your head. And it's, like, stuff like, in the memo, where it's, like...
You are listening to the Chill Winter Podcast.
It's like gonna take 5 white dudes or 5
from rich
young kids from white families. Gonna put them on a billboard in the middle of a country. Gonna tell everybody they sing like angels with whiter teeth.
Yeah.
But they're just like the ones before with their standards lower. It's just oh, I love that song.
So many
I think that's
like
my favourite song.
Yeah.
You know. But then you think of another song and you go, oh, that's my favourite song.
It goes on and on and on. And it's just credit to Father John Misty. Yeah. Also on the memo, funny. I totally, that caught me off guard the first time when it comes in with like a random voice like, you are enjoying the Chill Winter playlist.
Yeah. I had to like check my phone.
I was like, oh shit, I've opened something. I've opened like
Excuse me?
a streaming service or some shit, and then it like goes on. But like, yeah, I mean, this album's very, very current. It's like exactly what you said, the like scathing, like Mountain Goats-esque lyrics, but it's like current and political and like about situation now, looking forwards.
Yeah.
And a lot of the sentences that come out that are like super addictive just because the way that they're vocally put together are like perfect. They like sum everything up perfectly. Yeah, like I was saying. So that's quite a few of the songs.
That's my biggest problem with the album, actually.
What's that?
It's about half an hour too long for my liking.
Really?
Half an hour too long?
If it was like 45, 50 minutes long, I would like it a lot better. But by the end of it, I wasn't wildly blown away by the fact that pretty much all the songs have the same... Like, the instrumentation is nice.
Yeah.
I do appreciate this let's give each song. But I would like it if there was a little bit more variety. Like, two wildly different perspectives. There's some of the like glitchy, more electronic stuff that pops up there in the drum line, which I quite like.
I love the drum line. It's kind of Radiohead-esque. That's a lot
a little
of
bit,
people saying on the thing.
mean.
And that's not the reason I loved it, because I heard it first and then I like was watching the video. I was like, oh, it kind of is actually.
Yeah.
The way that it sort of, I don't know, bounced along. Well, not bounced along, but like peaks and troughs.
I feel like it has a nice sort of momentum to it that I never really get bored.
I had the problem that you have the first few times I listened to it. And then I got addicted to lyrics, and I came back to it, and I just love the whole thing now, and I don't mind. But I do agree with what you're saying, because a lot of it is the sort of guitar ballad, because I mean that's what Father John Misty does a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of like most of the songs are built off of him starting like that, and like things on the beginning of So I'm Growing Old on Magic Mountain. You start with that beginning, and you're like, oh no, this is a 10-minute song. Oh, it's just the guitar ballad that I've had on like pretty much, I don't know, 3/4, if not more, of the previous tracks. But then it like progresses to a thing I want to discuss in a minute. But, well, I have discussed already, but I want to go over it again because it's fucking brilliant. But yeah, I do agree. A lot of the songs start in a way that seems predictable. But I think the details and the addictiveness of the lyrics and the instrumentation that backs it up just like nullifies that for me.
I think it may be the fact that I need to like listen to it more, and once I have listened to it more, I'll grow a bit more patient with it, because by the time it gets to So I'm Growing on a Magic Mountain, the times I've listened to it, I've honestly thought to myself, okay, come on, like, I'm kind of done with this now.
I did the first few times, definitely, yeah. But then like I got, like I said, vocal snippets stuck in my head, and then I started to like love bits of like every song. That's the difference, I think, is when you're, I don't know, when you're super like tuned into exactly all of the little bits of each song, then it like seems different, even though it's maybe not sounding that different. It's like the difference between if he was like, I don't know, let's say all these songs were like done at a campfire with him and just a guitar, which he could do most of them like that, and he would do a very good job because he's fucking excellent at doing live performances like that. You could obviously walk in at any moment and they'd sound very similar and he'd be able to do most of them. But if you were sat there, you might think that as well, like listening to him. But the way that the songs are structured as well is very varied. The way that he does his vocals is really interesting. Like the way that he puts together the lines that he says is like vocal gymnastics. I don't know. That's what I think gets it stuck in my head.
I think there were some nice melodies throughout, definitely.
That's what I mean, yeah. Like the melodies that he has are really, really well put together, and like that's one of the most important instruments, and he even admits it, like I said on the memo. That's what he loves to do. He likes to do the speaking parts, and then he says the role of Oedipus came easily because it's like his discussion of whatever topic he's doing about him being political and talking about whatever is easy, or him talking about sexuality with his mum is easy, but like that's just an example. But like getting the instrumentation right, he struggles with, is what he admits. But like that's not a reason to dismiss your criticism.
No, sure, that's fine.
But I genuinely have just listened to it a bit, thought that to start with, and then just never, since I love every track on here pretty much, I've never even thought about that or even felt that. So it's an interesting thing. And just to go finally back to So I'm Growing Old on Magic Mountain, because I just
love that.
It's one of my
so much.
Yeah, even though it has a start that is open to that criticism, and that's like super valid criticism. and is true.
I just love
the end of that song.
Yeah. I just love the start as well, though, because like every time his voice is just so good.
Yeah,
it's so like it's just so nice to listen to.
Yeah, it is. It's just like, and the way he delivers it is like a sort of, well, I mean, obviously the song Growing Old on Magic Mountain is about like, you know, the Disney dream and stuff, and like you just conjure up this image of him on like a little ride with a little hat, like little Mickey Mouse ears on, just
to, like,
being
stay
too old
forever and party and
but
just not.
This is when the album sort of mellows out and comes to its message of like, you know, you're only like on this dumb earth for as long as you are, like make the most of it, even though everything around you is ridiculous and like the most absurd shit.
Yeah.
But regardless of the message, the instrumentation might make this my favourite song of the year so far. Just like I said, the scale of it is what blows me away. How it goes from the most massive scaled song, well, it starts like from the folk guitar thing, and then it blows out into this most massive scale, like orchestrated song, and then funnels itself back down to the like electronic glitchy fuzzes, and the electronic glitchy fuzzes are the most mind-blowing bit. It's like hard to convey, and like the scale of this album is always what's impressed me. That sums it up. Plus, you know, if you want lyrics that are super addictive and on point, this is the album for you. Which really surprised me, because I need to listen to more of his old stuff, because I'm sure it's structured as well as it is here. But the scale of this album and like what he was going for and how on point he is with the political message is like something else. I think this is probably going to be my favourite one of his.
So you haven't listened to any of his other stuff?
I've listened to a few songs, but not albums yet.
Is his voice always like it is on this album?
I think so, yeah.
Because honestly, and I know that Sam's probably going to crucify me saying this, but I find, well, maybe not on the first track, but throughout, maybe again this is just me not having listened to it enough and not being invested in it enough, and the fact that the album drags on for a bit.
It's not your fault for not being invested.
But I think that I wasn't as impressed with his vocals as I think I could have been. I think at points they sounded a little bit passionless to me.
Hashtag not Icelandic.
Okay, not Icelandic. I can sort of understand. I mean,
she sings in English, Sam.
I know what I mean is she doesn't.
He's not from Iceland, so he doesn't have the gift.
He's not got the gift of the
I like
cute,
other vocalists.
Welsh accent.
Yeah, but no, okay. His live performance blows out.
I'm sure his live performance.
That's irrelevant though. Yeah. That's irrelevant. I'm just saying that's like worth seeing. You didn't see it, did you?
No, not yet.
You should see it.
Okay,
not to guilt trip you, but it's fun because he does a lovely dance. Drops to the floor with his arms flailing. It's basically like Tom dancing, but an eccentric version.
It is
an eccentric version
with an orchestra in the background, a mini orchestra. It's like, amazing.
Yeah. Like imagine Tom's 15-step dance at the Grammys.
Yeah.
And just like times that by like.
That's barely
less of a seizure, more of like a flowing your arms around.
Yeah,
it's magnificent. Anyway, regardless of all of that. I suppose it's hard for his voice to compete with the scale of absolutely everything else, and I feel like I wouldn't want his voice to compete. So his voice.
The thing is, on the title track, he does raise his voice a little bit towards the end on one line. I remember.
I mean, that's the one that with the live performance is excellent for. Yeah. I don't know. I love his vocals and the way he's put together the vocals. Maybe his performance is not like groundbreaking or like blows you away.
No, I think it wouldn't.
But the thing I say is it's so addictive.
It wouldn't fit the sarcastic tone of the album, I don't think, to be massively showy with the vocals.
No, I don't think so either. And like, I mean, one of his lines he says is just, "Oh, I'm just another white guy in 2016 or 2017 or whatever it was written." I think he says that. Yeah. Might be wrong. That is one of his lines.
Well, it's like someone saying that to him when he says he wants to become like
That's part of leaving LA, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the next. He wants to become like the next sensation.
Yeah.
And the person's like, oh, great, another white guy in 2017 who takes himself
too goddamn seriously.
Too seriously.
Yeah. But I think that's part of it. It's like, even though he's like he says, a white guy in 2016, 2017 who takes himself way too seriously. Like his vocal performance is not being showy. It's on point, but it can be showy. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I think I just need to listen to it more. There's
too many threads.
I think I do need to listen to it more.
I suppose, yeah. But what I'm going to say is that I didn't commit myself to listen to this album super loads. I just got addicted.
So you ended up listening to it loads?
Yeah, I ended up listening to it loads, but it wasn't a fact of I need to commit myself to this album.
It
for it to unfold on me. It just did it itself.
So it was good enough at first for you to want to listen to it more?
Yes, yeah. Like, the thing was, first time I went through it, I knew I loved pure comedy, and, like, I think 2 Wildly Different Perspectives, I really enjoyed that for, like, the drumming.
Yeah.
And I'd heard those 2 before I went in, and then when I listened to the rest of it, a lot of the tracks that blow me away now didn't blow me away then. Like I said, like, things like Ballad of the Dying Man, Total Entertainment.
Ballad of the Dying Man's actually one of my other favourite ones on here.
Yeah.
Because I really like the vocal melody and the refrain about what was it? Not too long. This will be the distant past or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
In no time at all. This will be the distant past. I love the vocal melody on that one.
Yeah. Again, that's
where the vocals vary a bit.
Yeah. Well. And then other than that, it was then when I got to The Memo, followed by So I'm Growing Old on Magic Mountain, that like really blew me away. I was like, this is like something quite like special, sort of. And then I went back and listened to it again because I was addicted to those tracks, and I wanted to go through the whole album because So I'm Growing Old on Magic Mountain is such an album track, I feel. Because the track is long enough for you to feel the effect of it building up to its grandiose scale and fizzling out. But I felt like it was better if I listened through the whole album, so I did. And then I started picking up on bits here and there again, and then I wanted to listen to those tracks again. And it just went like that, basically. And a lot of it is down to the melodies, the vocal melodies and stuff, and the sarcastic lines and the detail, more so than just the sound.
Yeah, sure.
So I'd say there's no pressure to listen to this album if you're not like falling in love with it. But for both me and Sam, I think we both just sort of started listening to it and like, oh, this is good, and then it just kept going and going and going, didn't it?
It's very like, it sneaks up on you.
Yeah. Which is why it's like a subtle favourite for me this year. It's like I've just like grown to
I didn't go into it really expecting too much because I hadn't listened to any of the singles, and then like instantly fell in love with the title track, and then like enjoyed the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then obviously there were some personal favourites throughout.
Yeah.
And then just sort of left it for a bit, and then it like sort of grew in my mind and started like going over it, and then I just like had to keep listening to it. Like I just couldn't like. It's a very strange experience. I don't think I've ever really had that with an album.
No, I've not either.
Usually, either I'm like when I hear an album, I'm like, I love this, and then I like listen to it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then like after a while, I'll like start being rational, and then
it'll start placing it.
That's how I feel. For it. You know, other than No Universe, that'll never get bad.
I love this. I love this. Yeah. No, I agree, exactly. That's the thing that blew me away, is that it's just like, the way that I listen to this album is so different from what I usually do. And I'm not even sure how to attribute to that, other than the things I've been saying. And everything you say is valid about the sound of the album. And, like, you know, a lot of the songs are similar.
Yeah.
But, for some reason, this album has just kept growing.
maybe it's just it's a growth for everyone. In that case, then the fact I haven't listened to it as much as you guys is, you know, perfect. Is obvious.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
I might go love it. It might make my top 5 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think it'll probably make mine, but I'm not very good at rating things. I refuse to do it. I don't do rating systems. But yeah, it's a good album. I think
it's good.
It's worth checking out just in case it grows on you, because when it grows on you, it's like one of the best things ever. You just can't stop consuming the media that it is.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. So I greatly look forward to any future Father John Misty stuff. He is a talented man. His cover of The Suburbs is fucking excellent.
He's done a cover of The Suburbs?
Yes.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah. Just him and his guitar. I think he's in a shed with like 2 people watching.
And he did one of what's the Nirvana song?
I can't remember what one he did because I haven't seen it, but I've seen that he's done it. Oh, he did Heart Shaped Box, right?
Heart Shaped Box, that's
yeah.
How could I not remember Handshake Box? What the fuck's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Literally, it's like one of
Good
the
meme.
most iconic music
You're such a
videos
90s
songs
kid, yet
ever.
you can't do it.
I love the 90s. Oh my god, when will bands be as good as Nirvana?
Yep. They never will again.
Nope.
Nope, not a good band around now. Not even a single King Gizzard releasing 5 albums this year that are amazing.
Why aren't any lead singers blowing their brains out anymore? It's just not like it used to be.
Yep.
Oh my god, the 90s.
Ever since Radiohead's Tom York invented not killing yourself when you get super depressed. Nobody's blown their brains out.
Now they just write songs.
Now they just do electronic music and it goes all weird. Well,
I don't know why we went into an American accent for that.
I don't know either. You started it, so I continued.
It's like my go-to, like, stupid voice now. It's just
I mean, that says something. Well, sorry, America, I guess, but shouldn't have voted Trump. I suppose we shouldn't have voted Brexit.
Shouldn't have voted in a flipping reality TV star for your president, Sosmate.
Sosmate, get wrecked.
Yeah, referring to the entirety of the United States as mate.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
I think that was a podcast. Next episode, we're
listening.
going to cover some content before Sam signs off by accident. I've done that many a time. So next week we're going to do the finale of the Radiohead albums.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we're doing King of Limbs and the one they released pretty much exactly a year ago. I think it's like give or take a week or so.
No, I reckon it's actually this week.
I think it was.
Because I remember
It was when we were.
I remember Bottomless Pit coming out the week before, and that was definitely last week, a year ago.
So yeah, a year on, we're doing Moonshaped Pool.
Yeet!
That's crazy.
Yes.
So yeah, we're finishing off the Radioheads up till the current point.
And then Julian.
And Julian's choice.
Yeah, my choice. The Ape of Naples by Coil, a recent addition to the 10 out of 10 club, of which there are only 20 members.
Ooh, very exclusive.
It's a pretty exclusive club.
Yeah, I still mean to listen to this. Again, revision and shit's got in the way.
Is the Shark Tale, the game, the soundtrack, part of that club?
Runs the club.
Is it all
it's
the
bouncer.
other 19 members?
All other 19 members. Shark Tale, the game, the soundtrack.
It's none of them, I have to say.
You
can have your own 10 out of 10 club, Sam.
Julian, you just have to be more open-minded to Shark Tale-based soundtrack.
I have been open-minded to it.
Shark Tale-based soundtrack. You're not open-minded enough because you don't share my opinion.
That's how it works. That's how music is. Listen to Sam. Anyway, so that'll be next week.
I'm a smart boy. If you don't agree with me, you're an idiot.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Dragos.